Welcome back to this week's episode of Million Dollar Brand with Jalen LeGrand. So last week we spoke about the foundations of brand building. We talked about the business structure. We talked about the name and how important it is to make sure that your name resonates with your target audience. And this week we're gonna delve a little deeper. So last week I gave you guys appetizers. Now we're going for the full course. The first and most important thing after you consider your brand name and make sure that your brand name resonates with your consumer is this. Make sure that you are building a strategy that allows people to connect with your brand. The biggest misconception that people make is that you need to make your brand appear bigger than it is, when there are major corporations doing everything in their power to proceed to show themselves as smaller brands. If you make your brand appear too big, people won't be able to relate to it. So this is what you have to do. You have to think about your key performance indicators or KPIs, and you also have to make sure that in your branding, you share a story that will connect with your customers. I remember when I first started 316, I wanted to appear to be this big corporate brand. I would send out emails that was, like, this is from our team. I would send out things that made us appear, even when it was just me and I had no employees, I would make it appear like we had this, humongous force behind us. And I realized people didn't resonate with that. The moment that I started sharing my story within the branding and sharing how it related to me and how it could relate to you as a consumer, the floodgates were open. Because what I realized is that people always want to be a part of something that they feel like they're connected to. People want to feel like they have direct relation in transforming something. The thing about big brands is a lot of times you feel like you're supporting something that is very much so beyond you. And people want to be able to support something that they can tangibly see and feel. The next thing I want to stress is your USP, or unique selling proposition. The unique selling proposition is what makes your brand stand out amidst your competitors. A lot of times we think about our competitors and we think we have to do things to keep up with them, but there are very much so things that you can do as a brand to make yourself stand out amongst the competitors. And it may not even be a difference of product. It may be something simple as your customer service. It could also be something as simple as the packaging. But you have to figure out what can you do to stand out amidst your competitors. What can be your competitive edge when it comes to competitors? And how can you package that up to give customers the feeling that it's so much different than what your competitors are offering? When people are looking for items, they're gonna shop by going to everybody that has similar things as you. So what is something that you can do to stand out amongst your competitors so that people choose your brand every single time? This final tip I want to give is something that I would normally wait weeks to give, but since we are so close to Black Friday, I want to also give you this tip. A lot of times as brands, we always want to be rushing to cause a sale and we want to put our products on sale, but this is something that you have to determine from the very beginning of your branding. Do you want to be a brand that is always on sale? Think about brands like Macy's. We always see the one-day sale, and now Macy's is notorious for that. And so anytime you think Macy's, you think discount. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a discounted brand, but if you're going after being a higher-end brand, that's something that you have to establish from the very beginning. You have to be able to allow your consumers to view your brand in a certain perspective and a certain persona. And that persona or perspective that you want to provide to customers has to be done in your foundational building. There are certain things that you can do as a sale brand that you cannot do as a luxury brand, and vice versa. So make sure that as you're building your branding principles and you're looking for the type of brand that you want to be and the type of consumers you want to resonate with, make sure you determine at the very beginning what type of brand you want to be. Thank you for joining this week's episode of Million Dollar Brand. I am so excited that you guys are going on this journey with me, and I can't wait to hear the stories about your $1 million brands. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and commenting below, and share this with somebody else. You never know, they may need it. I'll see you guys next week.